All right, welcome, Jen. I'm so happy you are here to do
Thank
this.
you,
So
thank you, thank you.
It does
Have fun,
require
appreciate it.
visibility, and it's so fantastic that you are comfortable going on video, and so that's amazing.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because I thought about it. I'm like, well, I don't know what to say. And I thought, well, all I gotta do is answer from my heart. So I figured I'm just gonna be completely vulnerable. Whatever question, I'm hoping some people ask some questions. I actually have a couple of questions that people from the group have sent me to ask. They won't be able to be here, but I do have a couple of questions. But yeah, I thought what can be better than having a wonderful conversation about taking care of yourself. So
Yeah, absolutely. Best way to think about it. Okay, I'm going to introduce Jen. Before I read what I'm going to read, because it sounds like, well, geez, she's so far away from who I am, right? Jen didn't start out with all these certifications, with all this calm and peaceful energy that she seems to live in right now. So just listen to this and see that you can probably relate to her in some way. Absolutely. And we all start somewhere. We all have our journey, and we get to choose what that journey looks like and the roads we're going to take, right? And so hopefully this
I'll go over. Yeah, I can go over. I'll go over where it started.
Yeah. Okay. So Jen, you will see Zen Jen, and I sometimes call her Zen. That is just her name in the yoga community. She's certified RYT 500 advanced yoga instructor with education in yoga therapy. She's also a certified meditation instructor, Reiki, energy master, and alternative healing practitioner. So yes, she has pretty amazing things going on right now. She has many certifications, including restorative yoga, yin yoga, trauma-informed yoga, and yoga for death, dying, and caregivers, which is really amazing, which has allowed her to deeply understand compassionate space, for sure. Jen offers yoga and meditation online via Zoom to women only. So this is a women's only class, non-competitive environment, a supportive space to learn, laugh, and love yourself. She also leads a really incredible Facebook group that she does daily messages. So she gets on there every single day, sometimes reads from a book, sometimes talks about things she's inspired. And I think this is your second year in that Facebook. What's the Facebook group called?
Third. This is the third year. Daily Vibes with Zen Jen. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Daily
Vibes with Zen Jen.
Jen. Perfect. She's a woman that found yoga in search of her own healing and never looked back. Her intention is to bring awareness to the service of others as a teacher of presence and to be true self-love advocate. Jen has to date lost 35 pounds, and she intends to keep going. Recent blood work. So here's the thing. I know that I talk about weight loss, but it's really not. If you're in my groups, you really know that the focus more is on health, true health, right? Body, mind, and spirit. And with her recent blood work, it has shown improved levels all across the board, including one of the thyroid numbers. For the first time in a decade, one of the numbers was in the green, and she might be able to say that more about that. Previous and other info, she is stressed. She was a stressed out top selling realtor, retained all life's traumatic energy, formal people pleaser, a lot of people are, with no exercise or self-care routine, right?
Yeah, we'll go into that. Let's back up a minute.
Yep, sure.
Back up to that blood work, because this is real. Let me just even back up. I love the space that I'm at now, but this has been a real long journey. And really, it's not that long. It's actually kind of short. Depends on how we see it. Our perspective is everything in life, right? December 2016, I could not walk or anything without excruciating pain. I thought I was going to have a hip replacement. I did not exercise one bit. I didn't do much, but retain a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And the MRIs basically said I need to release stress, and I need, from my body, mind, everything. I need to release stress. I need to stretch. I need to do everything. So I just signed up for the gym in January 2017. So this all has been accomplished since that date, which is miraculous in itself. But the blood work, yeah, I would say because of the whole stressed out mess where it all started,
Yeah.
where it all came from. All of us have this. All of us have this from living life. You know, you cannot help but absorb stress as you're going along in life. The idea is to work to find some tools to either do some preventative work so this stuff doesn't come in as deeply, or do stuff to counteract it, because we're absorbing, especially in this day and age, we are absorbing so much all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of the stress, I actually gave myself an autoimmune disease that I never had before. And this is the first time in a decade that my blood work, every single part of that blood work came down. I still have some work to do in the cholesterol area, but it's greatly improved. And the thyroid, though, that's amazing. It's like unheard of, because you're supposed to be on that synthetic hormone for the rest of your life when you do that. So what I really like is that, and I'm going to go to your groups for a minute, because that's what's helped me have the better blood work. I've taken, I don't know, 3 or 4 of your groups. I enjoy them very much.
My programs, yeah.
Your programs, yes. I enjoy them very much. I really do. I really like them a lot. They make me think a lot. They make me observe myself a lot, which is really what we need to do. But without your guidance, without the guidance and the love and support in the group, I like the friendships in the group. I like the women in the group. It takes a certain kind of woman that's going to decide to do this, and you're around like-minded people. So it's really kind of cool. But that taught me the tools I needed to eat healthier and to shed some of this weight. But I don't think it's all food. I really think there's so much mindset.
Yes.
It goes into, because I can improve greatly on my diet and what I eat, but I have released tons emotionally. So I think that's, I iron clogs and stuff.
Yeah. And because we go along in life, you know, just living the same patterns, the same habits, the same ways. And you can start to make those outer changes, right? Almost like force yourself, because often somebody's like, oh my God, or be forced, like you were, right? Like with a health condition, and you're like, wow, I need to do something. So then if somebody starts from that place of need or should, but doesn't change the inside, right? So they're still being that same person that got there. So let's say if you were still being the stressed out, got to get things done, I'm not going to change my career, I'm too fearful of losing this career, I need to make money. But if you went in from that energy and from that mindset to eat healthy, how do you think that would have went?
Oh yeah, well, I've been working on the eating healthy for a long time though. I stopped eating beef and pork in 2011. But you seem to you kid yourself about things. You know, you really kid yourself a lot about things. Well, this isn't too bad. And I look back, even just a year ago, that was complete crap. What was I telling myself? You know, but we think, well, it's not that bad because of this. But deep down, we know. You know, we know. Yeah, I want to let you lead this. Like, I have a habit of taking over every time we're on, because the conversation gets so juicy.
No problem.
But,
it's totally fine.
But yeah, it's mindset. So the whole chain of events was 2011. I read the book The China Study, and then I watched the movie Forks Over Knives. And that just got me thinking. So, you know, I really wasn't that big of the meat eater anyway, and it just seemed like a good idea. So I did it. But I would say that I still ate like crap. I was thinking I was doing good just by giving up those 2 things. And that's nothing, because you don't even have to give them up anyway. It's about eating quality food.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say about your whole thing is it's not anything packaged. You are not selling a darn thing. You were talking about real food. We're talking about real health. There's no supplements that you're selling or anything. And that is very important to me. That's very important, because all my results are completely real. If I never talk to you again, I've got these results of my blood work, and it's going to stay that way without buying anything. which is important, But yeah, you think that that's going to do it, the eating meat, but that's little things. It's more than that. It's, to me, I had to love myself first. And I think it's these little tiny things that we do every day, these little tiny habits that we incorporate in our lives, that can either get you to love yourself again, because we all started out loving ourselves. Just life can beat you up sometimes, which we all know.
Yeah.
But it's these little tiny habits. And even if it's things that you don't feel right, you just do it until. I was a stressed out realtor just up until a few years ago. I mean, totally stressed out, and that's when it all came to a head. My body was just not going to accept it anymore. That's it. I'm not taking any more stress. I even went during this time and got my I stopped drinking alcohol in 2013 because I drank it too much to relieve stress.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna do that because it's just taking me away from the present moment. You know, I was listening to a lot of Eckhart Tolle during that year, and then I found myself getting toasted again at a holiday party, and I don't even remember what happened. And I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm not doing this anymore, because all it does is make me hate myself even more, right? So I stopped that, and then I'm like, okay, great. I'm gonna turn 50 years old now in a couple of months. What do you do if you don't drink?
Yeah.
I'm like, poor timing, Jen. No, so I went to a silent retreat for my 50th birthday, a silent meditation retreat, and it was one of the coolest things ever. So then I got certified in meditation, but I still wasn't relieving stress, and I still wasn't moving stress out of my body by exercise. I'm thinking now, okay, I quit eating meat, and I'm doing meditation, so it's all good, right? But it's not. We're one, and we need to move the energy out. And it's just a whole process. It's a whole overhaul. It's an overhaul, but you've got to quit digging. And my job, the real estate, was not allowing the stress to stop.
Right.
So I had to change it.
Yes.
I had to change it. And actually, it's only been 3 years since I have stopped doing real estate. So all I know is it continues to help me heal. And
yeah, and I mean, how health-wise, how have you improved, right? Like the money, like you got like,
oh my gosh,
that money,
well,
because you can be, if you could be a very successful realtor. You turn 60 and all of a sudden your health is so bad that you can't even enjoy or even maybe live the rest of your life, right?
And that's exactly it. And honestly, if I kept going the way I was, I may be dead. But yeah, I'm the happiest now I've been in my adult life. I mean, I'm thinking back, okay, 15 years old, that was a good time period. I don't know if I'll ever be able to beat that 15 to 16-year-old time period when you're first coming of age and you're first feeling all the woo-woos of life and everything. But in my adult life, I would say I'm the happiest now ever. So it's my mobility, losing 35 pounds, I'm surprised the extra mobility I have. And I work at my mobility. I'm a yoga instructor now. And I offer it all the time. I'm physically doing it every day, which helps change your life.
Right. Yes. Because it also brings conscious awareness in the body, like for you, into the body. And when you begin to feel your body and be conscious, then when you eat something that's not right for your body, also you feel it more. And so many people are disconnected, right?
Yeah.
Actually, because sometimes if you're like in this trauma thing with your body, right? I hate my body. Oh my God, I can't even look in the mirror, right? It's not feeling good. So it's almost like you want to ignore it. It's like, I won't look in there. It's not there. And that disconnect, which is just energetic, but yet this makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
You ignore the body. And
Yeah.
therefore you don't, or you tell yourself, right? It doesn't really matter what I eat because it doesn't work anyways, right? I can still eat this. Or some people have said to me, like, Oh, I can eat like the breads and the pastas and I feel fine. And I'm like, ooh, that's still like, are you really,
Yeah.
are you really feeling fine? Or is that just, you don't have you cannot feel or sense your body anymore? And I was a yoga instructor too. And I found that that really helps because you're constantly focusing on your body. How does it feel? How does it feel moving this way? Right. So it's this real
Yeah, I love it.
awareness.
I really love being the yoga instructor has been, I mean, I've done a lot of things, you know, in life, and I would say it's really one of the best, most fun things ever. I absolutely love where I'm at right now in space and time. It's great. Um, the being in tune with the body and know what to eat. Yeah, I would say being into yoga definitely helps that. But you don't need to do that to
Oh, no, absolutely.
and you know, and it takes a while to notice things. And it's a process. It's an evolution, and it's really beautiful if we allow it to be beautiful. You know, um, I'm still not eating perfect. But I have two questions. Do you mind if I read one of them? One of the ladies, her name is Benita
Yep.
Shamlaw.
Yep.
Okay, she said, "Do I eat healthy every day? And what do I do for exercise?" So I just kind of want to address that. One, do I eat healthy every day? There's probably a lot of different viewpoints on what eating healthy is.
Yep.
Compared to a McDonald's diet, I eat excellent, right? Compared to what Diana eats, probably not. Not every day. Not every day. I still have the need to reward myself with food. So I still allow myself time to do that. I allow myself one day a week to do that. I'm noticing that this is a process. I can't just stop it all, you know, but I can do 6 days if I know on this other day I'll be able to get this macaroni and cheese that I've been dying for all week or something like that, until I decide not to do that anymore, because you begin to notice that you really don't feel good after you eat that. And now here's my fun Saturday of rewarding myself, and I'm feeling worse. And like, is it really a treat to make yourself feel bad? So there's that. And eventually you change. So, but that's a slow thing. I've shed a lot of those already. A lot of those already. There's still a couple things I'm hanging on to because I still like it. But eventually it's going to outweigh, because I notice one of the coolest thing is I went back to yoga teacher training to, I'm actually helping the teachers there this time in the 50 plus training, which is kind of cool, at the yoga school there 3 years ago, 2018, September 2018. You know, they have all these healthy nutrition bars and all these kind of, you know, little chocolates, little honey for your tea, all kinds of stuff all over the place. And I remember that I used to take a few of those chocolates here and there. You know, oh God, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Let me have a couple here, and you know, whatever, on your way to the bathroom. You know, not but a couple little teeny chocolate, whatever, right? But now this time I'm there, I'm not even wanting it, which is so cool, because that's evolution. You know?
Yes. And your body adjusts. It's not always a force, is it? I think sometimes people think,
No.
I'm going to have to work this hard all the time. And that's not the way it works. And that's really good when you said that, because that makes me, that reminds me to say something like that. At first, when you're changing, because you are still that person, that mind.
Yes. The
Also,
seed is always there. Yeah.
also, yeah, like you said, reward, right? We're so used to doing that. I deserve this. But so that's the mindset. And that's okay. I still have stuff like that. I'm not saying I don't, right? But your body actually changes, as in you craving or wanting sweets or how things taste to you. So naturally your body changes. So the sweetness of something you used to be able to think was really good and crave, now you go to try to have it after eating healthy and not even perfectly, right? For a period of time, your body goes, I don't even desire that anymore. Like, it doesn't make me feel
Absolutely.
good. So it's not like you have to have this always push and willpower for years. No, because you are becoming a different person, right? You become a person who thinks differently about the food, who takes different actions, who has different habits, whose taste buds change, whose body adjusts. And so all of that helps you stay on track.
Yeah, you just have to give it a chance.
Yes. Yeah. If you stop giving up.
Yeah, you have to allow it. You have to allow it. You have to allow it. You have to give it a chance. And to me, I pick and choose different things. Like, so she was saying, do I eat healthy every day? Like, to me, I dropped all my sauces. Like, none of that mattered to me. So that was an easy thing for me to stop right away. There's a lot of chemicals. There's really nothing good in these sauces. So for me, that was an easy thing just to delete. I just shaved all that off. So, and it's these little tiny habits that'll make a difference. So it's these kind of things. For me, it was easy to delete those, to let go of the dressings and ketchup and all that kind of stuff. So then you take it from another area that maybe is not as important to you, right? Okay, you know what? Maybe I don't need the butter on the mashed potatoes or whatever it is you're doing, right? It's these little tiny things to get you there. It's just keep stepping in the right direction. But here's the thing: if you keep getting no, I'm sorry, that's something I'm not going to give up, and no, that's something I'm not going to do, and you're not giving yourself any yeses, then that's another conversation. You need to ask yourself why, and then go a little bit deeper, which is the mindset. What's behind it, because we need to make changes. If nothing changes, nothing's going to change.
Yeah, that's right. And the resistance, right, that comes in, you feel yourself and you're going to make changes. It's like, oh, you want to fight that fight inside. And that's so much about what we talk about in the programs, right? Because it is completely natural. It's completely natural to have those, because we are trying to, anybody in this group is over 40, 45, even older, right? Oh, we have so many habits. We have those ways of thinking, those patterns are just grooved in our brain. And it's not like,
they are, but we can create new ones.
Yes, that's right. And that's what it's all about. Yeah. So when people don't realize that, they stay stuck. And that's how it happens with the continually emotional eating, stress eating, on again, off again, all or nothing. It's because you're not aware how you're really thinking, those patterns that are in play that are like autopilot, right?
Yeah. There's comfort too. There's a lot of comfort in food, and we need to be comforted these days, especially, but, find different ways. This is what it really, to me, comes down to, which I saw actually you post something about being true to yourself earlier today or yesterday, but it's about that. It's about being true to yourself, about honoring yourself. I was never good at it. I was a people pleaser, but I'll tell you that I really like it. So when you start loving yourself and start honoring yourself, you realize this feels good, and you realize, oh my God, it's what I should have been doing all along, feeding my soul. And it's true. What do I do for exercise? Benita also asked. So do I eat healthy every day? Not necessarily, but I balance it out. Like last night, I actually had little pieces of bread. We had a salad with some seared shrimp and scallops on it. Beautiful salad. I don't do the dressing, because to me, the moisture of those other things make it happen. I'm good enough there. But I did have a couple of pieces of bread. No butter, but a couple of pieces of bread. And then so today, I'm balanced it out by being lighter. Like, I'm going to do just a shake for dinner tonight. So I balance it out a little bit. And then on one day on the weekend, I allow myself to splurge a little bit more if I want, whatever. So like, I'll have the fake ice cream. I have the cashew milk ice cream is what I like. So I'll have that, and I'll go to breakfast. I'll have a tea. I'll have honey in it on Saturday. I'm allowing some freedom on that Saturday.
Yeah.
What do I do for exercise? I exercise every day. Loads of room for improvement, but I try to walk most days of the week. I don't know, at least 2.5 miles, something like that. And I do yoga throughout the week, every day out the week. Maybe one day I don't. Maybe one day a week I won't. And I do some strength training.
What did you eat like before, like on an average day before you came to me? Just so people have an idea. What was your
Okay.
eating?
Let
I
me think
remember
about
some
that.
of your cheat days when you first came to me. It was like, holy.
Yeah.
So if you can think back to what it was like when before you started one of my programs, what you were eating, even though you were not eating meat, what were you eating?
Right. Yeah. Well, I still think I ate pretty good but at the time, for my awareness, I think I did anyway. I would have a breakfast. I would have probably a couple eggs, because I have eggs sometimes during the week. Back then, now I only have them on the weekends. I've dropped chicken products, and except for the egg, I'm still doing eggs. I do a little bit of cheese. That's as far as I go on the dairy too. But I would have a big salad with salad dressing in it, and I would have maybe a breadsticks with it, and I would have a lot of these extra things with it, and the dried fruit in it, and thinking that that's healthy, and that's not going to cut it. And sandwiches. I love fish sandwiches with cheese on it, and macaroni and cheese, but that wouldn't be my everyday thing, because like I said, I've been working on it for a while, but I lost 5 pounds before I met you, and I lost 30 pounds after meeting you. So to me, that says tons.
Yeah.
Because you really helped me. And the best thing is the shake, I call it shake, smoothie.
Yeah.
Smoothie for breakfast. I think that is most of the contributing factor to my blood work improvement.
Right.
And everything else is that smoothie. And anytime you get hungry or a little bit tired or anything in the afternoon, make a smoothie and you're good to go,
Yeah. And I think people got to realize that these smoothies we're talking about are loaded with nutrients. It's not just about almond milk and protein powder, right? Like, I think there's
I use water.
You come from not having the meat and stuff, but a lot of people come to me, right, who are so used to focusing so much on the protein, right? Which, yes, we need good amino acids, which are the building blocks to protein, but those can be found in plants too. And like we said, meat is fine, good healthy organic meats and stuff, because otherwise there's so many hormones. But minerals is what people are missing. And one thing I noticed for you, Jen, and everybody I talk to, just not eating enough of the healthier foods, right? So even though eggs may be seen as healthy, or someone can say, well, I had a sandwich with lots of veggies, right? Things like that. Right. But just going, well, I still don't get it. And I find that there's this thing of like, there is very confusing what's healthy and not. And there's so much conflicting information out there that you may think you're totally on the right path and then get frustrated because nothing seems to work, right? And then
I also think it's a little bit like if you're eating to lose weight, it's a little different also
than to just
maintain. Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that there may be some different fruits or even more quinoa I might add in when I get to my goal weight, right? But I'm trying to stay a little more focused to weight loss.
On the weight loss thing. Yeah,
I am, and I've got loads of room for improvement, which I'm excited about because I'm doing well and I expect to be down. I weigh myself Friday mornings. So Friday morning, I'm gonna get on my scale. I believe I'm gonna be 36 tomorrow because I'm doing good, and I'm taking my fast night tonight because I had bread last night. So, but I think that shake. And then I have salad, but I gotta say that I get so full. There's so much fiber in the salads that I'm not sure I get enough of the salad because they're so filling.
Right, because you fill up, because we make our salads full of stuff, and
they're delicious, absolutely delicious, absolutely delicious. So, and I have shakes a lot. I mean, I have a couple of nights of fast nights now that I never had before. You
Mhm.
know, we would even go to Olive Garden every once in a while, you know, I mean, so it's changed a lot. And as far as I do live with somebody else, he happens to be a very understanding person. But it is different because I want to go a different direction. And I'm actually feeling bad that I'm not feeding them the quality that I'm eating because they're choosing to have something else. But that doesn't mean I can't do it because my man isn't doing it, right?
Yes,
I
very good
just,
topic. Yes, she did this having
oh,
living with a guy, being with a guy. So it's
well,
totally
it's
possible.
true because, you know, especially if you're somebody that has put yourself last, which is, you know, there's lots of ladies like that. Um, and you never get to the last.
Hmm.
You never get to the end of the list. So it's time to move yourself up on your list for sure. But yeah, just so I make things for him, and I make it for me. So I make it at the same time. So I'll have the fish, but I'm not gonna have all this other stuff he has.
He has
And
more of the
maybe I'll
starch and the carbs, right?
oh, he'll have whatever, and he has you know, like he'll eat a chicken pot pie and think that that's okay, you know,
Mhm.
and maybe it is, but it's not for me. Where I'm going, and I love chicken pot pie. It's not that I don't
Yeah.
love it, but what I really love is not feeling bloated anymore. I don't feel bloated anymore. Amazing. My mobility has. I can do yoga deeper than I ever have because I didn't start in this field till I was 52 years old. I'm 57 now. I'm also insulin resistant and the Hashimoto and menopause. So all of these things contributing factors to you can't lose weight.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if I can do this stuff, anybody can. And that goes with yoga, that goes with movement, exercise, any of it,
And what's your
any
energy
of it.
like? What's your energy like?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Are you kidding me? I'm thinking of starting to apply myself off at 47.
And you look amazing, like your skin and everything. Oh my God.
Well, and I feel pretty cool that there's not that many gray hair yet. So
I know. So that
I'm
is,
going to sit with it.
my hair is, I'd go gray if I had more gray hair, but I don't have more gray hair. And this is one thing I noticed when I started adding wheatgrass powder and those minerals in those super powders, right, that we put into our
Mm.
smoothies, and plus all the minerals in the veggies and the greens when you really up your intake. I believe that's I mean, it's we already know they're anti-aging. And so I think that has a big part of in the gray hair. And then of course, genetics, right? But it is amazing, right? Like I look at your hair and I'm like, oh my God, like you do not have gray.
I'm pretty sure there's more this now than there was at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
but it's not that much. So it might come on like an onslaught. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I'm happy to have hair, right? We're happy to have hair.
Oh my God. So
Have hair.
true. Yes, yes, yes. Um, so what was I going to ask you? Do you crave, like, do you really miss, or what do you do to reward yourself? Or do you crave foods? Did you find this hard? Like this process when you first started with me, how did you think about it?
Well, I allow myself that once a week. I allow myself that once a week. So no, because I feed it. I feed that craving yet. But it's changing because I'm not liking things like I was initially. Like I don't like those fish sandwiches with cheese anymore. It's I don't like it now. I like the fish still,
Mhm.
but I don't want it with the cheese and the bread right now anymore. So things are changing. I can still eat the macaroni and cheese and be happy. So that stays right now. And I crave the ice cream. So I have the cashew milk ice cream on the weekend still. So my cravings, I just wait till the weekend.
And I think
And
it's more about allowing and choosing, right? Because they're not like these wild cravings that sometimes people would get when they're like, I have to have this, right?
no, and I love chocolate. But so what I do and what I'll probably do is reward myself for doing this today. I'm probably gonna go make myself one of those chocolate shakes. You know, you could make a
Chocolate
excuse me, a
smoothie.
chocolate smoothie, and that'll feel like I'm getting some chocolate, you know. So to me, that it's about also changing our mindset of what rewarding means.
Good one. Yeah, I
It's
like
when
that.
you know.
And it's kind of like choosing, right? I like to really say choosing instead of I need or I should or I deserve, right? It's kind of like when
Right,
we're trying to
right.
say I deserve, it's like we're caught in this victim almost thing. Like, well, I had such a hard, stressful day. I deserve that glass of wine. And I've heard that many times, right?
Yes.
And
Right.
that is becomes an excuse when we deny ourselves something like what you're doing is so great. When we deny ourselves those things that used to give us comfort or that we still find we need for comfort, let's say at the beginning, right? Then you're eventually going to rebel and eventually going to sabotage because you're like, I can't imagine going like 4 more months without that. So, oh my God, I had a stressful day. Well, then now I can have my glass of wine. I had such a crazy time. Now I'm going to have this because it's right.
Right.
You don't need a because,
Right.
right? You get to
You,
have
you,
like, I really would love to sit down and have a nice brownie or something, right?
well, I would have it.
Yeah.
I would
Like,
have it if I, but you can't do it every day.
no.
You can't do it every day. And that's the thing. And really when you have one, you kind of want another one. For me, it's better not to have any of the stuff in the house because I know it's there and I will eat it.
Yes. That's why I don't
It's
keep cheese in my
it's
house.
discipline. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a lot mindset. It's a lot of mindset, but it's really to me the most fun thing to learn about ourselves. It's a lot of fun. Marie
Oh,
Eve
hi, Kate.
Garnon. She's from Facebook. She says she's going to watch the replay, but
Right.
she said she's always interested in daily routines or things I do in a typical day.
Perfect. Great question.
Which, yeah, great question for sure. I am so happy to say that I've created a routine for myself. We have to honor ourselves, is what it is. We just have to say that, we need to be at least as equally as important as everybody else. I think a good amount of ladies put themselves last. That's just my experience with who I've connected with. But that's where I was at. So that's what I'm going to attract, of course, right? But there's so many. And if we don't at least put ourselves here, we're never going to be we're going to burn out. And it's not a good scenario. So creating a little space for yourself, creating a little time for yourself. When I wake up in the morning, I go to the restroom. But I come back and I do my stretches. I do my morning stretches. I don't do anything. I do not check that email. Do not pick up that phone for nothing. Do not pick up that phone. You're going to want to. You're curious. You're interested. Allow yourself that space. Break that habit. Leave that phone alone. Give yourself some quality time. So just allow yourself to breathe. Let some beautiful energy come into your body. This is what I do. And then I just do some good stretches, some beautiful, nice stretches. And then I get up and I make my bed. It's important to me to make my bed. I think it sets the tone for my mental attitude. And I go out and I have ginger and lemon water instead of my tea with honey that I was having every day. Now I have warm lemon water with ginger in it. And then a little bit later, I'll go for that walk. And then I will come back. I'll make my morning smoothie, which has replaced my breakfast. I have a morning smoothie for my breakfast. And it's loaded with everything. It's loaded with all kinds of greens.
Yeah, do you want to people are going to ask, what do you put in your smoothie? Might as well tell them.
Yeah, all kinds of greens, chard, spinach, kale, whatever kind of greens I have, which I've gotten used to getting, fresh organic. Gotten used to just going through the produce section and picking a bunch of greens. And so I always have a bunch of greens and I put them in there. I do the chia gel, which is something that Diana shared. And I put a few pieces of fruit in there. Most of the time it's strawberries, but I don't put more than a couple, again, because I'm trying to reduce my weight. and I don't want to lean too much into the fruits. So, but I do want to have some in my day. So I put a few in my morning smoothie, because the fruit's fiber filled also. It's a fiber filled thing. So it'll last, that sugar that's in the fruit will last throughout the day. It gives you energy. It's not like pumping yourself with regular sugar.
That's not like,
So that energy is good. Yeah. And then I bring that over. I got a nice NutriBullet. I bring it over there.
You put your powders,
You know,
super powders.
I do them independently too.
So what super powders
I don't
do
have
you
a
use?
I have moringa, moringa, baobab. I have, I do kale. I do a few different ones. So the green blend, I actually put two different ones in, because one has mint in it that I like, and probably a little more ingredients I like. So I still use this one that has just three, like wheatgrass and just a couple main ones that you always talk about. And spirulina,
right,
and chlorella, and I put ginger in this as well, my smoothie as well. And then I put about a half of a scoop of the vanilla raw protein powder stuff from Garden of Life or something like that.
right.
And that's filtered water. Filtered water is all that goes in that, and it's so great. And it gives me such good energy.
Yeah, and it's what I found is so if anybody's out there, like lots of people start out with smoothies and then either they don't find one they like, or it's the thing they give up on. And what I say is it's the last thing you give up on. You don't like, the smoothie is one of the best places. Look at all the things Jen adds. Now she adds a lot, but remember, she's been doing my programs. It's not like the first day she went out and bought all that stuff at one time. No. Right. Like you start with, let's say, a green powder blend. But anyways, when you begin to add all those nutrients, most people wouldn't even have in one day, but she has in her smoothie. So even though it's like, oh my God, is that all she has for breakfast? Or is that all she has for dinner? Which you don't have to do that, right? People can have food. Your body looks at the nutrients, all the stuff that it's being fed, fueled and fed is how it gets fed. It doesn't get fed. It's not a way of going, I'm so full. Wow, I ate such good food. I'm so full. That has nothing, right? The bulk of the food has nothing to do with it. It's what's in the food. So just by her having those amazing nutrient dense, high mineral, high vitamin, good essential fatty acids, good fats, all of that in a hydrating drink makes a huge difference in the morning. Huge difference.
You can eat a breakfast with it, and but I'm full after it.
That's right.
And it's also training yourself to probably not keep consuming so much. You know, we don't need much as we get on our plates when we order out or anything like that. So you don't have to consume as much as you consume,
right?
Which to me is slowly shrinking my stomach also, in addition to.
Great. God, I don't think I heard someone talk about that before. I mean, I have said it, but how that relates to the size of your stomach, right? In a way, when you're consuming a lot of simple carbohydrates, which in midlife would be things like pastas, breads, even gluten-free, muffins, all of those things. They don't have a lot of nutrients. So let's say they go into your body and your body's like, woo, we're missing still a lot of good food. I need more food. Your body kind of sends off those signals, but you're eating a big bulk of food, right? Like you're eating a lot. So that's right. So then there's heavy in your digestion. So your energy levels get decreased. You feel sluggish. It takes a long time to digest heavy food. Again, sluggish, bloated, blah, feel heavy, tired. But when you eat these really high quality, like those salads, when we have lots of the high fibrous vegetables, and our salads are packed, like eat like a meal. In a smaller package, you're getting tons of nutrients. So you're getting all the food your body requires. Like, well, not all, but you know what I mean. You're getting the types of foods that feed and fuel your cells. But yet,
it's true. It kicks most of it. It's most of it for sure.
You're not eating
Absolutely.
this high volume of food. And so what people often say is, I thought I'd be more hungry. I'm eating far less than I thought, and I still feel full. This is crazy, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I'm like, I can't even believe it. And the other day, it's like, oh, well, we went to breakfast. So I actually I love Greek omelets, um, spinach, a little bit of feta cheese.
Mm.
I don't like if too much else in it, but I love that until I don't do eggs anymore,
Mhm.
which I go off and on eggs. um, but yeah, so I had a Greek omelet for breakfast. Fruit cup is what I do for my splurge breakfast. A Greek omelet and a fruit cup. No toast, nothing like that. Because I don't like feeling bloated. I don't need to use that bread right now. I'm gonna have the sandwich probably later. So let me be, on my cheat day, right?
Yeah, your cheat day.
Um, yeah. So that's what I say to myself. And so I have two teas with honey each in each one of those. So I'm pretty full by the time we're finished with breakfast on our Saturday.
Yeah.
Um, so when lunch comes around just a couple hours later, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even think about putting anything else in here. And why do I want to if I'm not hungry?
Hmm.
So
Yes.
that's when I just say, I'm just gonna have a shake for lunch. You
Hmm.
know, you don't want to put in as much. If you just give it a chance to work, it's about giving it a chance. It's about allowing ourselves to create new systems, new habits, finding yourself worthy enough to do this and doing it, because it's not that hard. If I could do this stuff, I'm telling you, anybody can, no doubt.
Yes. And I think people overcomplicate it and think they have to. I know. I'm going to tell you right now, Jen does not spend hours in the kitchen.
No, I'm very boring in the kitchen. I'm apparently pretty lazy in the kitchen, and I know I shouldn't tell myself that, but I'm I'm surprised at how. Are you kidding me, Jen? It's the same 5 meals over and over.
That's right. It's so, and people often say, oh, I'd get so bored, but it's like, well, when you learn to have salads a different way, like I teach you, and different veggies a different way, right? You just learn. Like I'm just one of those people who makes healthy eating simple, like absolutely. I love to play around with recipes and I love to give you guys ideas because, growing up, you may not have been taught that, right? So some people think, oh, veggies are so boring and horrible, but it's just because of the way you prepare them. So you don't have to make it complicated. You do not have to spend hours in the kitchen. That I think people who don't cook that healthy sometimes spend more time. Like I'm so not to make a big roast beef dinner or this and that. Like to me,
Right, right.
it's
Well,
really
it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to put together some vegetables.
Jen's definitely a testament of you do not have to spend hours in the kitchen to lose weight in midlife and eat healthy. That's for sure.
But
Right.
all the numbers are improving. I mean, and it's mostly the smoothly in the smoothie and the salad, and just not eating as much crap. She said, how do you balance food, exercise, mindfulness, your walk, and your family if you have one? So this is a time balance question. How do you balance the food, the exercise, the mindfulness, work, and family? Well, mindfulness, I think, is a way of life.
Okay.
Mindfulness is going to take center stage of all that question and lead all the rest of that.
And mindfulness doesn't require you to take 2 hours. Like I'm mindful. You can be mindful right before you eat, right? Like you're mindful, like Jen said, all the time. Oh, I'm about
All
to
the time.
eat. Is my body really hungry? How would it feel with this type of a meal? Like, veg.
Right.
Oh my God, bread. That would be so good. But really, bread?
Instead
Like,
of plowing in a half a loaf of bread before you realize you're even eating it.
yeah, mindfulness is a practice and a habit, and you can start it right now. Right now.
Yep.
You don't need 10 minutes. You don't need 2 hours. You start it with it's being living consciously, I guess. That'd be more like
It
I'm
is.
choosing to
It
live
totally is.
consciously.
It totally is. And actually, that's really the key, because a lot of the things we do are habitual, right? And so, like, you're opening up the refrigerator, you've got half of that cake is in your mouth before you even realize what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's true. That's true for a lot of people. So the mindfulness is going to be in all of that stuff.
Mhm.
The exercise, I think we decide what we make our priorities. And even if it's a small slot of 15 minutes, I would make sure you get that in. But the food, I just look at things differently now. I say, what's the nutritional value of this?
Mhm.
And then decide. So when my guy says, is that all you're going to eat? When he's got this loaded plate of whatever, not that he eats bad, because he eats very, very good. He's way more disciplined even than I am in many cases, but this one I'm doing better or further along, let's just say. But he says, is that all you're going to eat? I'm like, well, this has probably 5 times as much nutrients as that does on your plate. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm comfortable eating just this.
Yeah. It's so true, right? That's so true. And
Yeah,
people,
and actually, I'm starting to feel bad for preparing some of this stuff for them. You know, like because I know that it's not as healthy as it could be. You know, I really want him to eat more like I am, but he's not ready to go as hardcore into it as
yeah.
I am, I suppose. But because I'm ready to go deeper, and that's where we're at right now. But that's okay. We're finding our way. I have to have things to give him, and I'm going to be able to go this way, so that's okay too. Because I really want to. I'm shedding a lot, and it feels very good. I want to go ahead and lose more weight to be able to function better. It just feels good losing weight. It really does. There was a book, a Mindful Year, that we read last year in my group. As Diana mentioned, it's just a Facebook group that I come on every single day and read messages on how to live a happier, healthier life. This particular year, we were talking about living the law of attraction, and that whole conversation is turned around to our own energy. And so it's to me, it's really about looking within
Mhm.
and deciding what you find acceptable, maybe raising your standards,
Yep.
deciding what it is, because we're old enough now. You know, I mean, we've been through a lot. If you're lucky enough to be alive at this point in time in the game, you've been through some stuff.
Mhm.
You've been through some stuff. So it's war on us. It has, you know, yes, it's traumatized me, yes. But you know what? It's not now. That was then. And we just have to decide how we want to throughout the rest of our days,
Yes.
you know? And back to Marie Eve here, the question of how do I balance all of this stuff is time management. We maybe not say yes to as many things, to create some space around ourselves. Maybe delegate what we can. Maybe that's not as doable, but saying yes and just saying to yourself, yes, I can do that. But you know what? This is my 30 minutes that I said I was going to have. Maybe I put it in your own schedule, schedule it in for yourself, give yourself some space, create some space for yourself. I did that and it changed my world. Create some space so you can be open to receive. If we're so jumbled up that we can't even see straight, we aren't going to be able to, it's not going to work. So we have to create some space around ourselves.
Yeah, it's like your
It's really
closet.
about,
You know, if you keep adding clothes to your closet and never clean out, you're not going to have space in your closet, right? And Jen chose to make, like I did when I went through perimenopause, you guys, I made huge changes in my life. Now, not everybody has to, but my body was truly breaking down too, and it required me to make some big changes, and I happened to do them all at once, kind of. As in, you know, quit what I was doing and start something totally new. But it doesn't have to be, but it's also you got to get out of we always spend time doing something, right? We all have 24 hours, and like Jen said, it's about knowing that if I'm jam-packed and I don't have time for myself, then that requires something to change. So you got to be really honest with yourself, and what am I willing to change, you know, just like Jen said. And also, what do you want to bring in and why, and how important it is? Because you could be working 14 hours at a job a day And saying to yourself over and over again, I don't have time to eat healthy. I just don't have time to eat healthy. I just don't have time to be healthy, right? If anybody's in that situation, you're not going to have time to eat healthy. Like, that's just the way it is. And you got to realize that it's like, I'm choosing my job over my health right now, right? Like, for somebody who's in that situation, it's a change of focus. And it's like, I'm choosing to choose health and to choose my wellness, whether, and you can start getting up at 10 minutes earlier in the morning, even just 10 minutes, right? And then when you're driving to work, taking some deep cleansing breaths, listening to a good song, listening to a podcast. Like,
It is. It's those little habits. It's those
yeah.
little tiny habits that you create. And even in your bedroom, I mean, create a space for yourself. Like, even if it's just a chair, I've got this little corner thing going on here. I have a little tiny bookshelf that has some books that I read on it. And I just kind of like it here. This is how we create space. If we're talking about how do we balance all these things,
Yeah.
we have to stop using the time that we have stupidly. So this phone, being more deliberate with it, shut it off completely one day. Don't even look at it one day. Give yourself a complete rest. You'll feel so good. So that for sure. And saying no, we don't have to say yes to everything. Let somebody else shine. Let somebody else shine for a while. You've done enough. We need to do for us.
It
And
doesn't take away from somebody else when you do for yourself, right? Stop thinking that.
no,
Denying
it
someone
only
else
makes you better.
happiness, for God's sakes. Yeah, it's like, enough.
It only makes you better. Heck, I'm actually scared how good I'm gonna be because I love loving myself. I'm loving feeding myself this. And I have greatly improved with the amount of love that I've given myself. I mean, it's amazing. I've worked through, I've was fondled as a child, and I've worked through that because of this love that I'm giving myself. There's things that I've worked through that are miraculous, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And it's because of the love we give ourselves. And that's what's helped releasing this. I think the eating is part of it, but you have to allow this transition to help. Those cells, we're holding that weight to hold all this stuff in. If we let go of it, release it, it'll go. And I think your programs, I mean, I didn't particularly come on to sell your programs, but I think your programs are awesome. And I
what do you think about the group?
Much.
Because we do it in a small group. And I think this is what is so powerful, right? Like, being in the small group of supportive women who know what you're talking about, have that understanding and support, right?
Well, yeah, because you're all like-minded, because out of all the people that are in this group, what do you got, 3,000 something like that?
Yeah.
In your group? All those people, all these women that say we want to get healthy are in this group, and yet how many come actually to the thing? Mm-hmm. So you're really with a good group of women here that are serious about life and decided that they want to have a happier, healthier life. And that's what's neat about it to me, is that connection, because you're all on the same mindset. So you're all on the same energetic level thinking this. So it's cool. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun.
It gives you focus and structure, which is like huge. So many people on their own would not probably be able to hold that focus, that commitment, that kind of structure, right, as you go along.
That accountability is everything. Yeah, that's why I do that's why I have that daily reading group. Yeah. Because for my own
accountability.
I mean, right, because I knew that I wanted to read a meditation every day of some sort. I want to read something every single day that's going to lift me higher. Mm-hmm. And I found that you're talking shit, Jen. You're not doing it. You say you want to, but you're not doing it, So the accountability is everything. So I created a group.
Yeah.
So I need to be there for them as well as me. And that's part of what goes on in your groups, because if you're not there for a few days, one of these other girls will say, what's going on? Can we help?
Yeah.
First of all, they want to make sure you're okay. But yeah, it's great. And I actually really love a couple of the ladies. I have genuine friendship and love for a couple of ladies in the group, because I've been in a few different groups with them.
Yeah.
and you really form a nice bond.
Yeah, absolutely. Women, I think, need, I mean, hundreds of years ago, we were kind of always together. And I think women need the groups and they don't get the support. And sometimes, you can't really talk to your husband or your spouse, right? It's like they don't really want to listen to you. It's like they have their own thing. And so having this supportive works, like, because women are different. How they handle stress is different. How they handle emotions are different. How they put themselves last is often so common in women, right? And so it's this permission also, right? Like we are together, we are, loving, we are learning to love ourselves more. We are learning to, and it's just this process and working through something that you probably wouldn't have worked through on your own. So yeah, very few people could do the amount of stuff you did and continue going on your own. So you've done amazing committing to yourself and making those choices every day to put your wellness as a priority.
You know what though? It's so much fun. I'm telling you, and I did not even know how to love myself, and that's a part of it though. So you may think that, well, yeah, it sounds all well good, it's not going to work here, and that's barring, of course, if you have any kind of serious depression or anything like that. Of course, seek out professionals, right? We always get help whenever we need it, and harmonize and love ourselves. But if you just do these things and put one foot in front of the other, you will get there. You will start to feel it. So it's a fake it till you make it, but you've got to do it to become it.
Yes, it's
and it's
starting
just
and
one foot in front of the other. Every little decision. So there's a decision. What's that book right here? Debbie Ford.
Debbie Ford. Yes.
The book's titled The Right Questions, and she has 10 questions in here that help you make good choices, because our lives are made up of all these little choices we make. But one of them, and this helps when you're gonna eat things or not eat things. Will this choice bring me long-term fulfillment, or will it bring me short-term gratification?
Exactly.
And that helped. Yeah, and that helped me realize that, well, of course I want this piece of chocolate cake, but I want this more.
Yes.
And so it's allowed me to process it. So therefore, I'm really okay. I don't really need it. But if I want it, I can do that because I don't do it every day. And it depends. Like, I'm going to tighten up because I'm seeing that it's it's working. So now I'm excited about it. I want to give some effort to it. And let's see, there's.
Oh, and I just also want to say, Jen did not join my program with this huge goal to lose a whole bunch of weight at all, right? So that was not your focus, right?
No, I just want to, what? I know exactly what made me, because I like I said, I 2011 stopped eating beef and pork, and then along here 4 years ago, I stopped the chicken and like dairy. I don't do much of that, and I'm like, you know what? I want to go to the next level, and I found you actually through Diana, who's in your group also. Diana Corbin, coach. She's great too.
Right.
Right.
Deborah.
Yeah. Oh,
Deborah.
did I say that? Yeah. Sorry, Deborah. Yeah. And so I just knew you would take me to the next level, but I had no idea I would fly. The next level was off the cliff, man. It's good stuff. It's good stuff that you share.
And that's because it isn't just buying a recipe book. It is not just recipe. It is always body, mind, soul, self-love, mindset, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, and all that, and what you eat, bringing it all together. Absolutely. Well, this has been so good, Jen. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Do you have, I mean, you've shared so much already, but do you have any last minutes last minute thoughts or something you really want to say to
Just,
women
yeah,
who are like
just think
kind of
if
scared to
we
take that
can.
next step, who are like, oh my God, I won't be able to do that. I've tried so many times, I've failed. I probably won't stick with it, on and on and on.
It'll take you to your next step. You know, there is no fail. Even this last group I joined of yours, it was, I knew I wouldn't be able to be fully there with it present, but I knew I would still grow. And so I took it anyway. It's one step in front of the other. It's one step, and you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. This is about it. It's eating healthy. It's our well-being. It helps you feel better. You can love your life more. You could focus on life itself, on living. And for me, I think it's been really great. And I don't see how I think that your groups are very helpful. So I think everybody should try it if they have interest. I don't know why you wouldn't if you have interest.
Yeah, so true. It is kind
That's
of,
what I was talking to my daughter.
Oh, someone has something that could really help me. Okay, I'm going to do it. Right? Yeah. It's
right. And my daughter said it to me a couple of weeks ago. I was like struggling. Should I do this or should I not do this? I was struggling what direction to go. She said, well, if you wanted to do it, you would be doing it, wouldn't you? And I said, well, yeah, I guess I was. That means I don't want to do it. We need to be honest and true to ourselves. Turn around and get connected. Give yourself some time and space. Quit saying yes to everything as much. Create some space. Turn off the phone. Use your time for yourself. Feed yourself love. Feed yourself love. Feed yourself love until what comes out is love. Really.
Absolutely. And in my empowerment, I have 2 programs, Midlife Reset, which is so much more about the food and about all of that. And then the empowerment is about is about coming into self-love, self-realization, letting go of things, and getting to know yourself better, right? And that's what's so important, is because then when you feel better, you do better. Yeah, it is just so much better. And I think the one thing we need to, I hate that word, but really is about coming back to ourselves, loving ourselves, honoring ourselves, doing the best for ourselves, and not fearing we're going to hurt others, because you will not. That's conditioning and programming. When you're your best, brightest, loving self, healthiest, right? Oh my God, like how can that change the world, right? And just imagine if everybody strove for that, each person, to be their best, happiest, and healthiest. It'd be a totally different world. So
absolutely.
Thanks for being that light, Jen, because you're leading the way.
Well, thanks for you being the light. You're leading the way.
Well,
you're leading the way.
You know, it's like, it's all about passing it on, and you're doing that in your groups too, right? It's about sharing and having more and more people come into the spaces who are deciding that they're worthy.
Yeah. A couple of the ladies actually that are in my group are in your that are in my yoga classes are in your group. So it's pretty neat, because I serve the 40ish, 50ish plus women also in groups. But it's nice to have the support of the group of the women.
So Jen has, say again, your Facebook group again.
The Facebook group is Daily Vibes with Zen Jen.
That's ZEN.
Right. ZENJEN. Right now we're talking about letting go of things in that group now. The rest of this whole year, we've been talking about living the law of attraction. But that's totally come back to our own energy. So we're really dealing with a lot in that group. I think it's incredible conversation this year. But excellent. Each year we have a different conversation.
And you also do yoga online.
I do Zoom yoga for women only. We're on 5 days a week. Sometimes I do evening things. They are just $5 a class, which is wonderful, affordable. And there is a monthly unlimited option, which makes an affordable option for women. but it's really a nice space. So proud of it, and
Yeah.
it's wonderful. It really is. It really is really pretty great.
So reach out to her if anybody else is interested in what she has to offer. I will put her, I don't even know if I put your name in the top part, but I will, and who I'm interviewing. Yeah, I'll put that in there after. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, because that's one thing I think we both serve the same woman, Diana, you and I do. And so like if any of sometimes you have to love yourself enough before you can decide to eat healthy to take care of yourself. And so like if somebody is interested in taking your course but feels not worthy, I'm not going to charge you to talk if you want to talk some things out, because there's little ceremonies, things that you can do, journal. There's things you can do to work through this to take care of yourself. The goal is for us to love ourselves and take care of ourselves and honor ourselves, our souls, by doing so. So whatever it takes, whoever you reach out to, move forward, move forward.
Yes.
Move forward.
Take the step. You can do it.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Diana.
I really appreciate it. Have an absolutely amazing day. Whatever.
Thank you, Diana.
Okay.